Hi, this is Baba Joe. You're listening to Spiritual North. Thanks for tuning in. Today I'm going to cover an auspiciously prognostic letter written by Richard Nixon to Donald Trump back on December 21st of 1987. Title of the article, published on my website spiritualnorth.com, is Nixon 1987 Letter to Trump. Quote, "You'll be a winner." Donald Trump gets prognostic letter from Nixon predicting presidency. The Hill reports on 12/12/16 that Donald Trump intends to hang the prophetic letter he received from former President Nixon, which references Mrs. Nixon's expertise on politics and her prediction that Donald Trump, whenever he should decide to run for office, quote, "will be a winner." This is the official letter. Richard Nixon, December 21st, 1987, 26 Federal Plaza, New York City. Dear Donald, I did not see the program, but Mrs. Nixon told me that you were great on the Donahue show. As you can imagine, she is an expert on politics, and she predicts that whenever you decide to run for office, you will be a winner. With warm regards, sincerely, Richard. Letter from former President Nixon to Donald Trump, image source twitter.com, Archives Foundation. The fact that the letter is dated on the winter solstice is worth pointing out. Also, here is the episode that struck such an impression upon Mrs. Nixon. I'll leave a link below if you'd like to watch the Donahue episode. I'm going to take one more minute to discuss this. If you watch this Donahue episode, it's amazing. I mean, Trump was being primed to be a presidential candidate in the late 80s. And Mrs. Nixon writes this letter after seeing him appear on television. Around the same time, I believe he also did the Oprah Winfrey show. Oprah, I wouldn't rule it out entirely because, if things got so bad, if they got so bad. And he did that interview. So he really went through the PR carousel. And, Donahue would ask him questions like, "Now, Donald, I know you have millions and millions of dollars and you have much experience in bringing companies up and making them successful, but how can this translate for America?" These are like softball lobs down the center of the plate for him to hit homers for his presidential PR press clippings. So I think it's interesting that the Nixons predicted Trump's victory. Let's see, 1987, essentially 30 years before Trump would take the Oval. And then also, it's worth mentioning, there's two different episodes on The Simpsons which predictively indicate Donald Trump will win the presidency. One of them is the one where Lisa becomes president. And they mentioned that he had been the previous one, or some such scenario like that. How does Mrs. Nixon know Donald will win? Well, maybe she just perceived the PR engine that was working behind him to move his carriage forward. The fact that this letter was written on the winter solstice, is not inconsequential, considering augury or prognostication or predicting the future is usually related in some fashion to significant calendrical dates. That solstice is kind of a spiritual day, if you will. So I'm not going to yipper-yapper too much, but I just wanted to bring this Donald Trump prognostication letter to light. I wanted you all to see it. I'm Baba Joe. You're listening to Spiritual North. We just read an article entitled Nixon 1987 Letter to Trump. You'll be a winner. Thanks for tuning in.